99.9 ani Mengbe Kering TV wale nyin sabalena atol mini alon ko alka safaro le ke fir fegol le balbudo alafta kabin kankula ning alnata home digital fm jamu kankular bundal te dami alon ko ning e kankula dunia bele kalon e ka fengo mi wafi ani kama minna ando manna da wala atol mini alon ko project ko balbudo gabia banko kanim banko e bantara na lafta mole nyim project ko kalamuta janne modulati alsina kachano dami nka advertisement or kaliyele dami yalon ko nse voice kali nga bi mix nga namurung nga eali bala manna da wala ni lafta talk show la dami yalon ko business ole be bulu wala project ole be bulu isina sino radio to janne wala itarasiri na online tv ine mole den kachala pour nyin kamala ese ku jama lojje ntolu dum mobundale timi yaron ko ka fahamuro yurwande kanda malu ke kilingoti wala munnalo kankungoti wala ya sabu ibe dawoda ni atara safaro le bebulu do lafta mole kala mutande kana ker nan tarabri kama nema bana laftan command la drongal se fero ke alien commandi plus 220 779 4475 wala plus 220-734-3125. Hanside ning altulbe diaspora alsenna WhatsApp command nole plus 447771676-759. Wala Mengbe Kering nka wole nyama andum fanan nka ke wole nyama.
I first of all want to thank all of you, all the media houses. Obviously, if I want to go through the names, we'll forget some. But you know yourselves, we want to thank you for coming to cover this event. Our company is called Sino Majilak Jalbak, SMJ for short, Sino Majilak Jalbak. The main reason why we call for this press conference is actually twofold. But then the rest of the details will be shared by Papa Alaji Samate and Mr. Suare here standing also on my right hand side. I just want to give you a brief sort of synopsis of why we are here today. Sino Majilak Jalbak came into existence 5 years ago. Our actual operation started 3 years ago. The main thrust of the business, the crux of it, the raison d'etre, was to actually come in and help solve the environmental disaster that has been unfolding in this country. There has been a problem, somebody has to come up with a solution. This is the company. So a lot of the, I would say, even all the machines, the processes, how we go about things are very unique to this country. Obviously, other countries don't have that problem. When you go to Ivory Coast and other countries, they all are used to dredging. In fact, they dredge all their sand. But here, dredging is new because Sino Majilak Jalbak is the first company that actually started dredging sand for commercial construction in this country. Dredging has been going on at the ports, as you all know, but that's mainly a whole different sort of process. Now, what has been unfolding on the Combo Coast, I'm sure is no news to all of you. You all know about it. Some of you have covered it, in fact, extensively. So I'm not going to go into those details. And today, hopefully, we'll even go around there to sort of see for ourselves once again what has happened there, the destruction. The whole entire place is gone, and all due to sand mining for construction. So Sino Majilak Jalbak came about to actually bring in dredging, which will solve all those problems. So the reason why I said twofold is that, number one, we are here to provide sand for construction. And number two, the next big exciting project that obviously Papa and Mr. Suare will delve into more is to actually reclaim all those areas that have been destroyed on the Combo Coast by sand mining. The new dredger is in town. We are very excited about this actually. A new dredger is in town, an ocean dredger, if I might add, that is going to get that job done. But without much, how we put it, further ado, I'm going to have Mr. Suare come in, and later on Papa will delve more into these issues. I was just trying to introduce you to the main idea of us being here today, so you know why we are present.
I think we've said all. As he highlighted some of the key issues of this company. The company is the first company that came into the Gambia to do dredging on a commercial basis, and also to prevent or halt the devastating problems we are having along the coastline. He did mention what is happening or what happened already in the coastline, and it is still there. You will witness it. It is not a secret to know that the people of the Combos lost their land, lost their valuable agricultural areas, lost their sea land, lost everything because of sand mining. Though it is a good economic venture, it is also a very bad one with regards to the environment. So in other parts of the world, dredging has been the solution. It was never possible in the Gambia. These young men coming with a company they call, as he mentioned, Sino Majilak, SMJ we call it, they came in with a solution. And I just want to remind you also, a part of the devastating environmental challenges we are having along the coastline because of sand mining, I think all of you will remember the Faraba Bantang incident. Faraba Bantang incident even cost lives. It also cost my very self for being suspended and the director of geology from our job. Not even being there, but because they felt the environment agency and the geology department did not do much to prevent that problem. These were all the challenges we were experiencing with sand mining. The gentleman, Alaji Mamadou Samate, we call him Papa, with a friend named Omar Jan, with their partner, banker, the gentleman who spoke, came up with solutions. It was not easy for them. When I was the executive director of environment, I thought it was easy when Alaji and his friend came to tell us about possibility of dredging outside, offshore. For me, that time, because of the problems we are experiencing in somewhere, in Bauhauba, in Kachume, we thought this is the solution. They should come as quickly as possible. Unfortunately or fortunately, I have to retire. So the gentleman who took over, because it was new to them, they made it very difficult for my two brothers or their team. They had to struggle. You heard what Banka was saying. Actually, they should have started 5 years ago. They could not. When a team went to Senegal to start such an operation, it took them only months to get it done. Because Gambians were afraid, they do not know what dredging is. They knew about dredging, but they were not confident, they were not sure, because they do dredging at the ports, at the ferry terminal, and Haskonin also the dredging. I assured the team that there is sand available where we are, this area. There is a lot of sand deposit. We are having 60 to 80,000 cubic meters of sand coming to this area, being deposited, preventing Banjul to get the sand it should get. That is why Banjul is eroding. The coastline of Banjul is eroding because of this deposit here. People argued, but we were using scientific data. Haskonin did a study. There were studies done even before then. I think all of you know Bubu Jallo and Malam Baro did some studies. They mentioned about this area. They mentioned about the sand deposit. Haskonin came, they did a study. They knew there are deposits here. There were other studies that followed. But because Gambians, we are not having the privilege of reading scientific papers, we thought Majilak people just came to dredge. I was even disappointed when I had people calling me to say, we understood the company is going to dredge underneath the bridge, and the bridge is even shaking now. That is not, it's ridiculous. It is not true. There is nothing like that. These bridges were made with very good civil engineering. So you cannot say the sandmine. In fact, the fishermen in Joshua will want us to dredge here because they want to have an easy access underneath. Every year there is a lot of deposition underneath. This area should be dredged. If it is not dredged, sand will not be going to Banjul. Banjul will be eroding. I'm telling you that 30 to 80,000 cubic meters of sand, 80 to 100,000 annually is coming here, being deposited. That is from the rivers. We have 6 outlets going. You have Kakima, you have Kotu, you have the Tanje River. They are the ones supplying. The only river that is not supplying sand here is Alahen. Alahen, we call it a very selfish river. You are living in the Gambia, you are not benefiting Gambia, benefiting only Senegal. That's what Alahen did. They have over 100,000 cubic meters of near Kato. Yes, it's a very selfish one. It has a lot of sand coming out of it, but it's been deposited in southern Senegal. So that's the only river. But these other ones are deposited. So I am assuring you people that these gentlemen, what they did, Zeno Majilak, is something we should think of again. Now, the company went further to have what they call an ozone dredger. This ozone dredger now will be after. You know, we've already had some destructions. You will be seen in Kachume, you will be seen in Sambuya, you will be seen in Hauba. That there is a lot of area that is ignorant. In fact, during the commissions, I was asked by the councils, Madam Ami and the other part, they said, why, being the executive director, why didn't we ensure that rehabilitation was done when mining was completed by the company? I said, well, it is on the papers, it is there, the company should have done it. We were unable to force them to do it because the company has the backing of the executive, the state. So they told me to be very much precise. I said yes. We were all afraid of the head of state because the company was coming through the head of office of the president. So that was only reason. But definitely you will see there is a lot of this. The then head of state, not now, of course. The then head of state. So it is on papers, but a company that is being defended by the head of state, if they refuse to do something, what can we do? Being the head of environment or the head of geology, you cannot do anything. You cannot force the company. But it is on paper that they should rehabilitate it. So having Zeno Majila coming in now, bringing a dredger to solve that problem, to help us solve the sand problem in this country, I think they needed a very big applause. The Gambia government, the people of the Gambia should thank them for that, but not to prevent them have this. I'm assuring, with all these scientific papers we have with us, that there are no problem. The dredging they are doing here or will be doing offshore will be creating that problem. Because in fact, before every dredging, an EIA is done. EIAs are not meant to prevent companies to develop areas. No, EIAs are meant to give us that safeguard, that to help us observe the negativities, the positivities, and to put them in perspective that if there is something negative, we should be able to solve it. That one is done. The company definitely did that. There is no problem. They will be addressing. In fact, another nice thing about it, after dredging this area, the company will go along to even do another bathymetric survey to say what are the conditions of the area. So be assured, and let's all support what the company is doing. We wish them the very best with the new dredger they are having offshore. The problem at Sambuya, Hauba, Kachume will be solved, and then we will be having enough sand possible. Right now, I am told that the road project in the Gambia is having problems because they believe it is not having enough sand. They said Mr. Samate, they said the sand we are having is with lot of sand, with lot of salt. But look at the new dredger with the machine they bought again, trying to solve the Gambian problem. They've made sure now the salt content is being reduced by 97%. So that is excellent. We should encourage them. We should help them to assure them. And you, the journalists, we want your support. Tell the people the real thing. Because people speculate, they don't have reasons, People are saying Banjul is going to be swallowed because they are dredging here. No, we cannot allow that. We are Gambians. We knew what we are. We will make sure that before everything is done properly. So thank you very much for your time and event.
So this is a summary of the report from Royal Haskonin. Okay. And I thought that it's important you guys have that. And we have a copy of the report as well. So we only did a summary because the report is over 300 pages long. And then by looking at this summary, you guys will be able to go through it quickly and find out the things that are mentioned here. It is clearly stated that in Oyster Creek, so when we say Oyster Creek, is this area we are talking about, Denton Bridge. This is the Oyster Creek. So they said at the Oyster Creek, between Oyster Creek and Banjul, there is a huge deposition of sand. And there's a formation of a sand spit. You can see right in front. Now it's a little bit misty, but after that boat, you could almost see it's like a road you see into the water, when you have low tide. That is called the sand spit. They said there's a formation of a sand spit. And because of this sand spit, sediment is, the water is not able to carry out sediment to Banjul. So what happens is, as Uncle Shuare was saying, all the sediment that comes from this river and from the ocean, this is where they meet. So when they meet, the sand falls. When they meet, the sand falls. And when the sand falls, it doesn't go. When it doesn't go, other sand also comes and falls at the same spot. So as a result, Banjul is not nourished the way it's supposed to be. The ocean does its own nourishment. But currently, sand is not going to Banjul because of the deposition of the sand here. So at the report, they clearly mentioned that this deposit, for Banjul erosion to stop, this deposit needs to be removed. And when it's removed, sand will be able to go to the Banjul. This is the area behind cemetery all the way to behind State House. This area will be able to, the ocean will be able to nourish this area. But without this, they said, you have to be doing beach nourishment after every 10 to 15 years. But the last beach nourishment was done in 2000, so that's about 23 years. And they also clearly mentioned that every year there will be an erosion of about 2 to 3 meters of this same area, which we have, we have seen that. Because GGC, their whole fence was gone. Water was entering the GGC. But as part of our corporate social responsibilities, we nourished that area for them. And after almost 10 years, they were not able to build their fence. But now they're able to build their fence, So I would like to take this opportunity to thank you and to thank Uncle Shuare as well. This project, as he clearly mentioned, started after the Faraba incident of 2017. I'm a Gambian. I studied abroad and I worked abroad. I'm an architect with engineering background and urban design background. I know how outside they acquire sand for construction. For example, in the UK, mostly in London, you will find out that more than 50% of their sand comes from the Thames or from the sea. So knowing that when we saw the Faraba incident, we said, look, this is a problem that we can solve. But we know there was a sand problem in the Gambia. So sand was being extracted at, from Batokunku to Kartong. But this is also the prime land of the Gambia. Gambia is a small country, and we all know the country relies heavily on tourism. So Gambia is a small country, and the prime land of the country has been extracted. So from today later, we will go and see those areas as well. You will see the damage that was done there for 26 years. Those areas, the advantage was there were high sand dunes, some as high as 10 meters. So it was difficult to farm some areas because of the high dunes. So it was suggested that to clear the dunes, to level the place so that the farming activity can take place. But once the clearing was done, then we still don't have any sand. So they started digging under, going deeper. This is why the problem comes. Clearing, leveling it is okay. But digging under some areas are as deep as 8 meters. So this becomes a problem. So now even those areas are exhausted. So we don't have sand. So when we heard about the Faraba incident, we said, look, this is something we can do about, myself and my partner, Omar Jan. We said, it's something we can do about this. So what happens is, we started looking into ways of bringing in a dredger here to do the work. So when we came down, we went to, by then Uncle Suare was the director of NEA, but he was almost retiring at the time. So we went inside, he explained to us, this is a serious concern. We went to see the ministers, they all said we wanted this. Yes, we wanted this about yesterday. So we went to him, he also told us the same. And then from there on, we decided to bring in an ozone dredger for dredging the sand from the offshore. But again, Mr. Suare, our intention was to start the dredging in the Combo coastal areas. Mr. Suare told us, look, at Denton Bridge, we have a serious problem there. The sand depositing there is causing a lot of problems to Banjul. There is a report on that, and at some point we even tried to do it to remove the sand, but we don't have money. As a government, we don't have money, because the estimated cost in 2000 to remove this deposit is almost $6 million. So the government don't have that kind of money. I said, okay, Uncle Suare, that is very good information. So he went ahead, opened his lockers and bring out the Royal Haskonin report and show it to us. Even showed us the pages where this has been quoted. We said, thank you very much. Before going to start in the Combo coastal areas, let us solve Banjul's problem. This is how we came here, to this place. So there's a report which is available here. These are some of the summaries of the conclusions of the report. For example, it says, along the coast between Oyster Creek, that's Denton Bridge, and Banjul, the erosion is the result of local accumulation of sand in this pit at Toll Point. That area is Toll Point. That same area I told you, behind James old fence. That is called Toll Point. They said predicted erosion rates of the beach in this area from year 2000 onwards is about 3 to 4 meters annually. So every year, the sea will be taking almost 3 to 4 meters, which you can see in the area before the nourishment. They said by taking this sand spit away, the main cause of erosion in this area is eliminated. That's 5.2. The same study is called Coastal Protection Study, the Gambia by Royal Haskonin. So the same thing, if you take out the spit, the problem is going to go away. They say the sand spit accumulates between 60,000 to 80,000 cubic meters per year, as what Uncle Suare was saying as well. Some of the sand from this pit should be used to nourish or restore the beach after every 10 to 15 years, which is also here. They said it may also be considered to create in this area a large sand deposit during dredging activities to provide a source of sand for construction works in the coming years. In this way, it may be possible to strongly reduce illegal sand mining from the beaches. I think this is what SMJ is doing here. So now you see that the Combo coastal areas, illegal sand mining is reduced there. Even mining is reduced there, although most of the area is exhausted. So hence, this project is here. So this project, when we started the project here, we've been doing a lot of corporate social responsibilities as well, which also includes the nourishment of behind GGC, which cost the company almost $30 million. And another one in Bara also, which also cost the company almost $30 million. We did the Bara one as a result of the dredging works we did for the Ports Authority to dredge Bara in April of this year. You all remembered when somebody passed away in an ambulance because the ferry couldn't bat. So they called us. Immediately we had to stop all our work and mobilize our equipment there. Within a week or so, we were dredging Bara. We dredged Bara, and the sand we took out, instead of selling or doing something with it, we use it to nourish the beach, because if people who know Bara, you know that by the garage and the mosque, that whole area is eroded. So this is why we nourish. And we took some to the streets of Bara. The Alcalo also told us that we could take some to the streets of Bara, areas which have ditches and others, level them up.
So these are things you also do in Banjul here, right?
Yes. In Banjul here, at the area we are dredging, we nourish it. This is the area behind GGC. So GGC, if you go there, you will see that today they are able to build a fence. They were not able to build a fence for almost 10 years because every time they build it, the water will take it down. So it was only this year that they're able to build that fence. So the water has receded. You can even see near the fence, you can see grass growing there. So it means the water has receded, set back.
And you have plans to extend that also?
We have plans to extend that, yes. So as for Banjul, Banjul is a very low-lying land. And it was advised that Banjul should be protected. The only way, there are two ways of protecting cities like Banjul. One is called building an embankment, where you build a wall around the beach. So wherever the sea level goes up, it doesn't pass that wall. Other areas are, nourishing the beaches, regularly nourishing the beaches. That will also protect it at some level, But since after 2000, the report, that has not been done in Banjul. So the only nourishment that was done by us last year. And it has significantly improved the area that we nourished, Saying that, so we did not stop there. Uncle Suare then went and retired. And we called him as a consultant to help and support the company, because SMJ, by the way, is a Gambian company. It's a 100% Gambian company by 2 Gambians with their friends as well behind me. And we have foreign engineers. Because the engineering work which is dredging, Gambians don't know this. But again, even with those engineers, we assign Gambians to work with them. So they are training these Gambians in order for the Gambians to be able to take over in the next few years. So you will see even in the ships, in the boats, people like him. You will see Omar Drame. He's one of the engineers that work in the boat, and they are training them to operate these dredgers. It depends. It all depends. But geology has that record. You know, geology has the record. There's a certain quantity of sand that needs to be removed here. This company is not going to be here for long. As we said, there was a problem in Banjul, and the reason for the company to come to Banjul here is to solve that problem. I think if you go to do something like this, look at where there's a problem first. Try and solve that problem. Once you've solved that problem, then we can go to other areas. There's a lot of areas here with sand, huge deposits of sand in the water. But when we have a problem, I think it only makes sense to solve that problem. That is why we are here. But this area is very challenging, we all know. Very, very challenging. This area is very, very challenging because we know this area it lies on the highway. This is the main highway to the capital city of Banjul. We can see the traffic, trucks coming out, traffic. It's very, very challenging. So no investor wants to work in a place like this. But because of the problems we're solving, that is why we said, let us go with the challenges, you know. But our intention is not to stay here for more than a year, in fact.
And then you'll be moving to
move into another area. By then this problem is seriously, significantly reduced. We had a lot of comments, people making lots of statements, talking about the bridge and the salt and other things. So I just want to embark a little bit on that as well. If you look at this bridge, these bridges normally have piles. They are deep as 50 meters deep. We have very good engineers in this country. Some working at the NRA, some private engineers. So these piles you're seeing, these pillars you're seeing, they go deep, some 40 meters, some 50 meters. At the Port Authority, the piles are less deeper than this because this is bigger than those, the Port Authority baths. This is why the boats bath. When we are dredging the Port Authority, we dredge the Port Authority at the Banjul Port, the Banjul Terminal, the Banjul Ferry Terminal in 2020. We usually leave a distance of about 2 meters away from this piers, 2 meters. But whenever we leave this distance of 2 meters, you know what happens? They will call us back to go back and get as close to the pier as possible. Because if we don't dredge there, the boats will not be able to bath. So we go and dredge almost 15 meters at some points, 14 meters, 13 meters deep. In Denton Bridge here, we are about more than 1 kilometer away. We are dredging away from the same bridge footing, 1 kilometer away. And we are only doing depths of about 10 meters. So do you think it will affect the bridge? This is why when they talk about that, the engineers will laugh and say, let them say whatever they want to say. They also talked about the salt content. That is true. Sea sand has salt. This is an estuary between a sea and an ocean, so it's also salty. It's not as salty as many other areas. But the salt was also tested several times. In fact, I have a report of the test, the last test that was done by NRA. It said they needed about 75% of the test, but the sand they tested here scored 95%. So currently, I will also take you to this side where we are washing sand. The only issues with the sand is not the salt, but sometimes you see these shells. You see big shells in it, big shells. You always have that in the sea. And sometimes you also see these clay lumps. These are an issue. So we have made a screener for them and a sand washer to remove those. But those were only the challenges. But even with that, when the sand dries, you can remove those from the sand. So this is it. So, but because of politics and because of other people's interests, a lot of people have said a lot of bad things about this sand. But the Gambian people should look at the environmental impacts of the other alternatives that are there. Gambia cannot live without sand. Unlike many other countries, we don't have steel easily, readily available. We don't have timber abundant. So what do we use to build our houses? What can we use? It's sand. It is the cheapest. So we can only use sand. So at the same time, when people are coming down, no, this sand is not good, they are going to take our rice fields and they are digging from our rice fields. They are digging from our most expensive places by the sea. They are depriving of our income, the income of the country, just for their mere interests. Yeah, this is the OIC project, or yeah, this is the so-and-so project. We want to have the best sand for the country. You want to have the best sand for the country, but you are also killing the country on the other side. So Gambians should be wise enough. There's been a lot of tests on this sand. And the NRA director and others can quote me on this. They have tests to prove that this sand is about 95% sufficient for what they want to do. They only need a 75%. I have the result here with me. So talking of that, I think those are all things of political. I don't know why people say that, because there are other companies also that are also selling sand in the country. It's not only SMJ, but you see a lot of them, the areas they are dredging or they are mining have exhausted. Currently, they said they wanted clean sand for OIC. SMJ went ahead and bought a sand washer just to assure the government that we want to support development in this country. None of the other companies did that. But the sand is there, the wash sand is there. So any company that wants to build, you want clean sand, you can come and get it. Any company, but the clean sand, of course, will be a little bit more expensive than the normal sand because of what it goes through another process of washing and screening, which is also, consumes energy, so it's expensive. But the general public, most of them are okay with this sand, and they have been building with it. Gambia has been building with sand from the beach for nearly more than 50 years, sometimes even 100 years. Because most of those colonial buildings we see in Marina Parade and Cape Point, they were built from, my grandpa was a foreman for, they call it works. He was a foreman. They had a truck. They used to go directly to the beach and take sand and fill that truck. Those are the sand they used to build those buildings. But those buildings, they have been there for over 80 years, some even 100 years. And they are even stronger than these buildings. If you go and look at them, I had the opportunity to demolish one of them, and it was very, very hard to demolish, very difficult, almost like basalt. They use this sea sand. But again, sea sand and sand from the inside the water is different. Sea sand has more salt than sand from inside the water, simply because at the sea, when you are at the beach, every day when you have high tide, the water comes on the beach. And after sometimes you will have the low tide, the water will recede back. The water that is left on the sand will evaporate, leaving the salt there. This process happens every day on the beach. So every day some sand and some salt is accumulated on the beach. That's how our grandparents used to make salt. They go to these areas, they dig holes, water comes in there, if you know what I'm talking about. After that, the water recedes, dries, they have salt. So a lot of accumulation happens by the beach. But these buildings were built from sand from the beach, which is much more saltier than sand from inside the water. But we are taking sand from inside the water. So it's all talks. But this sand, tests have been done scientifically to prove that it's a very good sand. So out of that, on another note, the company started with, the company started, the first phase of this company, SMJ is a marine company that does dredging of sand dredging, maintenance dredging at ports, capital dredging of ports, and deepening of other sea channels and so on, and other marine works as well. Yes, including beach nourishment as well. So this company started with sand because sand was the immediate problem. Now that all this Combo coastal area is exhausted, if SMJ was not dredging sand here, where will we get our construction sand from? They will go to the villages, the rural areas to take sand. But at the rural areas, we have a very, very shallow depth of sand. Sand is almost 1 to 2 meters deep. So you will see the amount of trucks that will take out sand just from the Combo area on a daily basis, over 500 trucks. If you are to have that at one village, for example, every day they will consume about half a hectare of land, and every month they will consume about 1.5 kilometers, 1 kilometer by 500 meters. Every year they will consume the size of Banjul. Every year they will consume the size of Banjul just for sand mining at the rural areas, because of the depth of sand is not very deep. So if we allow ourselves to do that, where will we farm? How do we go about and restore those areas? In fact, the coastal areas is a little bit easier because of what? It's next to the sea. So now you can dredge from the sea and pump sand into them. But imagine, we've been mining for 20 years, the amount of sand we take out. Now we have to go to buy sand from somewhere else to go and refill those areas. How do we do that? We cannot do that. So we have to be sensible about this and let the experts deal with this. What we don't understand, we ask our experts. We have a lot of environmental experts like him and many others, and other experts as well who can advise us on this. On the other part of the project, we divided it into phases. The first phase is to bring in a sand dredger to solve the sand problem on the first place. So that we have done already. You've seen that now a lot of sand is being purchased from here. The second part of the project is to go and restore those areas that were mined in the last 26 years. So this is from Bato Kunku all the way to Kato. It's almost 17 kilometers long. And it's estimated that almost 40 million cubic meters of sand was removed. Current international rates for restoration is about 15 euros a cubic meter. So you multiply that, you get more than excuse me, you get more than 600 cubic meters, more than $600 million worth of restoration work. Does the Gambia government have 600 million to go and restore those sites? No. So this is why we as a company, we have the equipment, we know the technology, and we have the capacity to do this. This is why we went and embarked on this for our country. So now the intention is to go and restore those areas. Once we've restored those areas, and then we will give it to the government. And part of the area also will be assigned to us to bring in more investment. More investment means developing the areas into what the government wants the areas to be developed in the first place. This is tourism-related development. And this is how the company will also benefit from it, make the money it spent on this project. So this is the intention of the project. And we brought you here to show you what we've achieved so far in the past 5 years and what our intentions are. The dredger you're seeing here is an ozone-going dredger, very huge capacity. So that area you will see, when we go there, you will not understand the area, many of you, until you go there. You will see the impact. It's very, very severe. But by the use of this dredger, we're able to accomplish this goal in several years, maybe 5 years, maybe 7 years. But this is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And I'm sure that you guys will all appreciate what we are doing. We are Gambians as well, just like you, young Gambians, working, studying abroad, working there with experiences. We also say, let us go back and see what we can do for our country. It's not about the money. This SMJ here has not been making money for the past 5 years and went ahead and bought another dredger, which is over $20 million. You will see. Yes, this is the investment. So the company hasn't made any money yet. But in the long run, we are hoping that the company will make something, but the government of the Gambia and the population of the Gambia will also benefit from this, which is very important, which is the main purpose of our being here. So I thank you all. And the itinerary for today is we are going to go around and see this dredger. We'll go around it. We can go inside and you guys can inspect and so on. From there, we go to the dredging site, which is right at the other side. You will see the dredging process, how it is done. From there, we'll come to the sand washing site. We'll also see how sand washing is done. From there, we'll go to the old quarries, and you will see the areas we intend to restore. So, but any questions you guys have, we'll also hand you over a presentation we did, so you will all have copies of that presentation while in the bus. So you can go through that. Any questions you might have, you can ask. And at any point, if you have any questions about this dredging or about anything else about this company, please feel free to ask. This is why we called you to come here. A lot of people have been making lots of comments. They don't know. But this is an opportunity for you guys to come and ask whatever you feel like or whatever you want to know about the company. You can ask, and we will try our best to answer it for you. I thank you all for being here. And then make sure that everybody, we are going into the water, so safety is very important. Listen to the experts that will be in front to tell you what and what to do. And just make sure everybody, is very much careful. I think everybody here can swim. Thank you again and welcome to the SMJ site, and this is the sand washing and sand screening site. So as you can see behind me, this is the sand washer on the left hand side, which washes sand, removes salt and other impurities. And behind me is the sand screening site, which we have just been demonstrating now. So that one screen site to take out the bigger sediments and other dates as well. So this equipment we brought in here for the OIC project, as we all heard that they had issues with sand. They were saying the sand had some salt. They didn't want to use any salt content there, as well as there were some sediments as well. So we brought in this equipment for that. So this one will wash the sand. Behind you can see the wash and screen sand on the other side. On the other side as well, you can see pipes and floaters and excavators, loaders, which are all new. These are for the restoration of the old quarries, which we are currently discussing with the government. And once we've agreed on the terms, we will start that work. So these are all the equipment for that project. And that is the same dredger you saw you went in at the other side. So welcome again to SMJ, and to show you guys what SMJ is doing for the Gambia. This is all. We are Gambians, young Gambians, and we are doing this for our country. When we heard that the OIC people needed sand, they said they wanted this, what is it called? This specification of sand. We went ahead and got the equipment. We are not the only quarries or sand sellers in the country, but we went ahead and got this equipment for the government so that these projects can proceed and successfully completed. So thank you again. You can look at the equipment, and from there we will embark on the vehicles and we go to the other sites. This is the coastal side, all coastal quarries. Thank you very much again.
Mengbe Kering.
Nkafo wole nyama.
Badi mo nyinde ateme kodi ma bade te mi yaron ko Home Digital FM 99.9 ani Mengbe Kering TV wole nyin sambale na atol min yaron ko alkasafaro le ke fir fegol le bal budo alafta kabin kankula ning alnata Home Digital FM jamu kankular bundal te dami yaron ko ning e kankula dunia bele kalong e ka fengo mi wafi ani kama minna ando manna da wala atul min yalon ko project ko bale bulo gambia banko kanim banko e bantara na lafta mole nyim project ko kalamuta janne modulati alsina kachano dami nka advertisement or kaliyele dami yalon ko nse voice kali nga be mix ngana murung nga eali bara manna da wala ni lafta talk show la dami yalon ko business ole be bulu wala project ole be bulu isina sino radio to janne wala itarasiri na online tv ine mole den kachala pour nyin kamala ese ku jama lonje ntelu dum mobundale timi yaron ko ka fahamuro yurwande kanda malu ke kilimote wala munna lo kankumote wala ya sabu ibe dawoda ni atara safaro le be bulu do lafta mole kala motande kana ker nan tarabri kama nema bana laftan command la drongal se fero ke alien commande plus 220 779 4475 wala plus 220-734-3125. Hanside ning altulbe diaspora alsenna WhatsApp command nole plus 447771676-759 wala Mengbe Kering nka wole nyama andum fanan nkake wole nyama. Sunshine Insurance Company Limited. Itulumuti lole timi yalonko abe wankarine purumbe nga njala. Isenjibe ye murung ye tankande. Wale asabu saing ibe nun sate kono jane. But sai ye kunda sorodame wolom brikamati jalba kuyatela Johnsono nyati limola. Ituludung ikamaman cool minna wala moto insurance tini moto bebulu. Wala dimbale boto ya wala masiba kule muta. Walila suo kono sungole mantoro kaje walila business dula. Niye insurance o ke dorong itol katara jele ke imari tankandi andi manna dawola iko goods in transit nim fengol lebe bulu min yalon ko ke tambiri Gambia la anin cash in transit fo kodo lebe bulu min yalon ko ba tambinde kanne isela insurance o fananta be talla lori komale wato beda performance bonds etc e kanyem fanam bekele bari ha ila do ko siate manna dawola de iko public liability employers liability anin contractors or risk e kanyem bekele personal accident ne accident osoto nyem fanan ila insurance ni bije isejo bane hokono atara kalas jamaati je andu fane manna da wala travelers personal accident e kanyem fanan be topotore e bale da min doron wala mo jalba ko atala Johnson o nyaatile mola birkama sate kono a badingol Sunshine Insurance Company e tollon tilibati mi yalon ko abe wankarin koto kanjibe anin kan tankandi kolya ko wala min yalon ko wala mo insurance la fanal wala badi ngolon kamone bato al ngam bori nuje ngela insurance ota Sunshine Insurance Company Limited, caring and protecting.
First of all, I want to thank all of you, all the media houses. Obviously, if I want to go through the names.
So thank you again. You can look at the equipment, and from there we will embark on the vehicles and we go to the other sites. This is the coastal side, all coastal quarries. Thank you very much again. Thank you very much and welcome again to the SMJ. site visit. So this area is called Tujereng, and this is between Tujereng and Sanyang. In front of me there is Sanyang, behind me is Tujereng. So this place also used to be an old quarry. Well, it's an old quarry where they used to mine sand for construction. I think it was mined between 2020 to 2022, something like that, yeah, 2020 to 2022. And you can see the extent of the damage. From the edge of the original level of the original contour of the land, you can see that some areas are as deep as 10 meters, between 8 to 10 meters, you know, and that was all sand that has been excavated from the site. So I want you to, if you can take your cameras and look at the edge of the cliff, you can see the original levels. You can look behind me as well. You can see cows are grazing there. This place used to be a pristine place where Mr. Cisse will embark on that more. But the intention of the company is to come and restore these areas. Currently, you can see, do you see any activity here? Do you see anything happening here? But these are the prime lands of the Gambia. We could be making millions here. Lots of tourists, lots of Gambians coming and enjoying these places. Even if we have a theme park, we can have hotels, accommodation, lots of other things. Youths of this area or the Combo Coastal area, they will all be employed if the projects we want to do are successfully, you know, carried out or executed. The intention of SMJ is to fill this area. Filling this area means dredging from the sea, filling this area. It's millions of cubic meters, but we think it's possible, and it's the only way to get this place to a usable state. Some of these distances, they are about 4 kilometers long, 4 to 5 kilometers long, and you can see the width. The width also average is about 300 to 500 meters. Some of them are as wide as 800 meters. So this is all within the TDA land, TDA area. TDA means Tourism Development Area. So it's all within TDA. So these are the areas that the Gambia could develop itself and create employment, and the country also makes money. But currently you can see, is there anything happening here? Nothing is happening.
What is it?
Yeah, the development plan I gave you a brochure already. The intention is first of all to reclaim the site, restore the site. When you restore the site, a lot is possible. You know, the company wants to use it as TDA proposals. What TDA proposals are? Things that are compliant with TDA. So this could be hotels, it could be theme parks for children to go and play, it could be apartments, just like Atlantic City of Nigeria and Eco Atlantic of Nigeria and Victoria City of Lagos as well. All these areas were reclaimed land. And today you see they are the most expensive places in Nigeria. People will go to from outside to buy apartments and to live in. So but this place is much more beautiful than those areas we all know. Look at the beach. Look at the breeze you feel in here. It's beautiful. You look behind, you see greenery. But you come and you see this ditch. Are we going to leave this ditch like this? Or are we going to do something about it? But SMJ is here to do something about this. And we are Gambians. We went and invested a lot of money, millions of dollars, to come and do something here which will benefit Gambians, the people of Tujereng, the people of Sanyang, and Sambuya, Gunjur, and all the Batokung and all the other communities within Kendin, Sebel, all the other communities within this area. We think this is the only way, because currently this kind of development, no other government will sponsor our government to reclaim this site. No, because what they will tell you is, what did you do at the site? You said, yeah, I mined sand, I sold it, and I collected some royalties. They said, take your royalties and restore the area. And normally when they're giving a license for sand mining, they also tell them to restore the area. But how can you restore the area? You're mining sand, you're making $10. Somebody tell you to restore the area, you need to spend $25. Will you be able to restore that? And you're mining sand in the first place to make money. So this is the problem. Restoration is very expensive. But we also need sand to build our houses. Yes, we have done the feasibility studies. The cost of based on the international standards for restoration or dredging, because they're charging between 13 to 15 euros a cubic meter. That's without the compaction, that's just the dredging. So if you take it with 13 to 15 euros a cubic meter, you're looking at almost $600 million. $600 million to restore this site. In terms of time frame, we intend to do this within 5 years, if we are given the opportunity. But I don't know if we'll be able to do it in 5 years, because you're dealing with the ocean, you're dealing with the wind, you're dealing with tides and so on. So it's quite difficult, but this is the target. The equipment we have is state of the art. It's one of the biggest in its kind. So that's why that equipment we went to is there. That's why it's that big. because this is a huge project. This is only a small portion. In fact, this is the second biggest site. There's about 5-6 sites, and this is the second smallest. The first smallest is about Batokungu, and this is the next one after Batokungu. But the other ones, Sambuya, Gunjur, they are huge. You can see us kilometers and kilometers away. It's all done. You will not see a single structure. Some areas you will not even see a single tree. So it's very sad. But the people that used to live here, they know this area, and they will tell you a lot, because a lot of people, including myself, have bought properties within this area so that we can have access to the sea. But only to find out that we now need to swim in order to get to the sea or walk 4 or 5 kilometers around the area just to get to the sea. So this is it. Yeah. Yes, you know, this government, just like any other government, are for development. They are very, very excited about this project. But again, like any other project, before you embark on a project, you need to look at the terms, you need to get the experts to look at it, to look at the details of the project. Currently, they are looking at those details of the project, and we are sure that they are really excited to have this kind of project. They clearly mentioned to us, but now we are waiting for them to come up with those modalities so we can at least embark on the project. Exactly. But you see, we have the team, we have the experts, we have the equipment, everything is set and ready. But again, what they are also looking at is very important. There are local communities they need to consult. There are experts who also need to come and look at it so that it's done in the best way in terms of best practice and so on. And so the part they are doing is good. It's good. It's important for both the company, the government, and the communities as well.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I am Mr. Cisse. My full name is Modu Cisse. Yes, I am a resident. This area we call it Tintinto.
And it means what?
Well, it's a Mandinka word, and I don't know what the jargon meant. So,
Yes.
but according to the local people, I said they used to call it Julakore. I think the people who can understand or speak Mandinka can do their own. At times, to express words can be very difficult. At times, your emotions can overcome you. But I left the Gambia a long time ago, came to Tujereng, and my wife showed me this area. It was unbelievable. And if I said unbelievable, anybody who knows life, anybody who knows how to live life, anybody who knows what you call leisure, and you have your kids and you want them to be running around freely, this is the place. Because there is no obstruction, you can walk from your home straight to the beach and do exactly what you want to do freely and openly and honestly and go back home. And now coming back here and seeing it how it is, at times it just speaks volume. It just tells you everything. So if at all you got kids and you want them to have a good future, well, I don't think here is the place for them. Because where can you go? What can they do? What activities can they get themselves involved in? So what will happen? They'll all be at the homes doing whatever they need to do. But honestly speaking, it is a disaster. But if at all you don't live around these areas, it's far away from you, you wouldn't know. All you want is your son. At the end of the day, I'm an executive because I know a lot about sand, because I got my own trucks. So I know what it can do and what it can't do. But as a Gambian, just like all of you, it should be our own interest to make sure certain things, we can put a stop to it. Some people don't even know. All they want is their sand for their own individual benefit. Of course, that is what life is. But at the same time, you want your children to have a better life than yourself. That is why you're trying to give them a better education so that they can have something better. So this Gambia, whether we like it or not, it is our responsibility and our task to make sure what we leave behind is something good for our children. That's the reality at the end of the day. So I'm just appealing to anybody, wherever you are, this coastal sand mining has to be a thing of the past. The Gambian coastline is too small. So there has to be a better way, and there is a better way. So in life, you're going to say to yourself, I don't want to do it, or I don't know how it is done, but somebody else does know how to do it, and somebody does know exactly how it is done. That is what all life is all about. So I'm just appealing to all Gambians, especially the younger ones, to make sure that their coastline is protected and they can enjoy it for their own future. I am somebody who doesn't, I'm somebody who doesn't have hope. What I have is, I have belief that it will be. Because if my generation doesn't do it, I know that the next generation will make sure that they will stand up and they will do it. That is my belief, and I always believe that people can do what they want to do if they want to do it. If you think that you cannot do something, no need for you to wake up. You won't do it. If you believe that you can do it, then you will find ways and means to do it, and you will do it. That's the bottom line. If you wake up and you think that you will never reach Banjul, of course you will never reach Banjul. But if you want to reach Banjul, you can wake up at 4 o'clock and you can walk on your feet, you will get there. That's what life is all about.
So how do you access the beach now?
At the moment, if you can swim, you can try. That's the reality. You can't. Nobody comes around. You can see the place is all empty. If you have a girlfriend or your wife, you want to go for a stroll, you can go for a dip. That's all you can do. But there is nothing here.
So this was the major attraction for
This was one. It was beautiful. Early morning, you can go for your jog, you can go for your walk. It was just amazing. That's the truth. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so as you all can see, I know we've been to Badokunku, we've been to Tujereng, and now finally here. This is Sambuya. Now, I don't have to tell you, you have seen for yourselves the degree of devastation that has been visited on these coastal areas. And believe me if I tell you, if you go to Gunjur, it's the same thing. You go to Sanyang, the same story. You go to Katong, same story. I can go on and on and on and on. About 16 kilometers or about 17 kilometers of coastal space. Basically, you can arguably say the entire coast from Tujereng or Badokunku all the way to Katong, gone. You cannot build houses there. You cannot build a hotel. You cannot build a restaurant. You cannot turn it into a theme park. You cannot literally, even women cannot do gardens over there anymore. Women cannot plant rice over there anymore. Gone. Disappeared. So this is the main problem that we are facing here. This is the environmental mess that we've been dealing with. So this is why the sand dredging came to town. If you want to summarize it, if anybody tells you why is there sand dredging in the Gambia, this is it. There is no other reason behind it. Somebody looked at it and said there is a major problem. The way to solve it is through sand mining, which is the visionaries like Papa, when I say Papa Samate, he wants me to call him Alaji Momodu Samate and Umar Jan. This was their vision. They had the foresight to do something like this because there was a problem. You know, Faraba incident, as they kept alluding to, inspired their imagination. Because when Faraba incident took place, everybody realized it was about sand mining. That was it. And then that was when the problems of sand mining came to the forefront. Because everybody was asking, but what's the problem with sand mining? And the people of Faraba were saying, no, it destroyed our places. And then people went there and they saw it, they were like, what? This is what sand mining does to our communities? Because you have to understand, most of these quarries are actually way out of the way. How long it took us from the main road to here? So most people don't see them. So a lot of people are oblivious to the disaster that has unfolded here because they have never seen it. Since it's with us, it took how many trips? We took a vehicle all the way halfway, then we got off the vehicle, we want to walk, we can't do it, we have to get another vehicle. This is how hard it is to get here. How many people really can do that? If you don't have any serious business in this area, you will not be coming here. So most people don't know what has transpired here. A lot of times, even when you tell them about devastation, about the degree of devastation, they cannot imagine it. So it almost sounds like it's not true. You see, this is the thing. So because of Faraba, people started asking, but why is this a problem? And they went there and they saw it and they were shocked. And this is when Omar and Alaji Samate really started looking into this and saying, okay, let's find out what's the problem here. And then they came to the coast, realized this is the same problem over here. So this is why they decided, okay, why don't we find a solution? The solution is then dredging, because other countries, was their solution. If you go to Nigeria, Ivory Coast, all those countries, they don't build sand through digging up trenches on the coast. They actually literally all dredge it. So places like Nigeria, you can see in one lagoon alone, you can see thousands of dredgers. When I was on the video, you can go to YouTube and see these things. Just type, dredging Nigeria, and you will see them. It's very easy. But what I'm saying is that this is not new, and it's not unheard of, and it's not like it's the worst thing that could happen. It is the solution. It may not be the best, but it is for us the best case scenario, because the alternative is going and finding more land like this and destroying it. That's all. That's the alternative. So if we want to continue doing that, we have that choice. We can do that. Gambia, unfortunately, is not like many other countries with a lot of land space. If you look at even Combo itself, it's congested now. Too many people with too few lands. So even living space here is very, very congested. So that means we need to create more space for living, because we don't have places to build houses anymore. So all of these are our problems. Because of that, then we need to go and reclaim all these lands so we can be able to reuse them for other purposes. And he was saying government, because it will take government $600 million US. I'm not talking dollars, it's dollars, to rehabilitate this whole entire area. Where is the Gambia government going to get it? Almost $1 billion. Where is the Gambia government going to get that from? So the idea is the company will come in, reclaim all this land, and then in return the government will give it a piece of land, area, that will be their way of recouping their investment. I think that's fair enough, right? So, and this is it. Government is not going to pay a dime to rehabilitate this place. It's not like they have a big bill on the table, dollars are coming in. No. Rehabilitate, give me a piece of it, and I can use that to build stuff and then be able to get my investment back. So, and I think that's a great way of dealing with this. So, but I want to once again thank you all for coming. We appreciate you, and we want you to go out there and tell our story, the story of the Combo Coast. Because this is not just about the company trying to do this or the government. This is about the people of Combo. That's who this is about. Personally, for me, I am from Brufut, so this is a very personal story for me. It's a very personal issue for me, honestly. When Omar Jan called me up and said, Banka, I want to go to Gambia, we want to do dredging, will you come and join us? I said, why? When he told me exactly the idea behind it, right away I bought into it. Because of what? I saw myself in the story. I did. This is my area, my territory. This is my neighborhood. These are my people. Seriously. Blood relatives. So it touches me, seriously. When I come here and I see that my mom's garden is what is destroyed like this, her farrow, it cannot be cultivated anymore. It's personal. Really, it is. So I really want to thank you again. Go tell our story, all of us. Tell the people what you have seen with your naked eyes. Not what Banka told you or what Alaji somebody told you or what Cesar told you over there, but what you saw. You are bearing witness to the disaster that has unfolded here. So with your cameras, we hope that you will go out there and tell the Gambian people what has transpired here and what is being done about it. And I'm sure that news will be an exciting one for not even just the people of Combo, but the whole of the entire Gambia, because this is about us. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
New Vision Insurance Company Limited offers you complete protection against accidental loss on your assets. With over 25 years of excellence in insurance services in the Gambia, we have developed a well-experienced, stable, efficient and service-oriented workforce to handle the most complex insurance portfolios with an adequate reinsurance arrangement with our overseas reinsurers. Our most invaluable asset is our prompt claims settlement policy, which is and will remain our top priority. Protect your interests with our tailor-made classes of general insurance policies such as motor vehicle insurance, fire and allied perils, burglary, travel personal accidents, marine, cash in transit and cash in safe, employer's liability, public liability, bonds, group personal accidents, machinery breakdown, contractors all risk, and goods in transit insurance. For more information, contact us at our head office, number 52 Kairaba Avenue, Serekunda, The Gambia. Telephone 437-0620, 726-5527 or 7783-418. At our branch in Brikama, adjacent to the Brikama Mini Stadium, call 44-83501 or 705-7209. At our branch in Serekunda, Sayer Job Avenue, adjacent to the Methodist Church in Serekunda. Telephone 439-3444 or 733-3341. At our branch in Banjul, number 22 Daniel Goddard Street / Hagan Street. Telephone 422-3045 or 3938452. New Vision Insurance Company Limited, protecting your interest.